standing up for your rights.
I think we should drug test everybody on welfare, food stamps, and unemployment. If you've got illegal drugs in your system, you don't need any of my money.
And holding the politicians accountable. This is the Larson Show. Lars Larson Show. Here's Lars on News Radio 750 KXL.
Hey, welcome back to the Lars Larson Show. It's 7 minutes after the hour, and glad to be with you. Not in the home studio. It is Conspiracy Theory Thursday, but no, we're a long ways from home, 2,500 miles away in Washington, D.C. Outside, it's blue skies, and the snow is still piled up. And, of course, the D.C. city workers, all the patronage jobs, are out there with little shovels, moving little bits of it at a time, because they don't know how to handle snow. Snow shut the city down. But we're here at CPAC, the biggest if you hear the noise in the background, that's the sound of conservatives, and it's the buzz that's going on because there's been a sea change in America. And you know who I think we have to credit? A year ago, we were crediting Barack Obama as the NRA's #1 gun and ammunition salesman. This year, we have to credit President Obama for making it possible for people like Kurt Kelly to win election, we hope, in Florida, go from state representative to member of Congress. Welcome.
Well, thank you. It's great to be on your show.
Now, tell me why you'd like to replace the guy you're running against.
Well, there's two key reasons, and thank you for asking point blank. And anybody that's watched Alan Grayson, you know this is the guy that went on national television and said the Republicans' plan was to just die quickly. That's right, die quickly. That's how he said it. Well, the reality is there's two key reasons for me. Number one is that this man is probably the most liberal man. I'm from Central Florida. We're a conservative center-right district from Ocala down to Orlando. And this man, he ran as saying that he was a centrist. Well, he's anything but a centrist. He's been an extremist leftist and has pandered to the left. And so it's his philosophy that got my attention and says, wait a second, he doesn't represent me and he doesn't represent the people of our district. The second thing is just the way he's handled himself. Vulgar, base, egregious behavior that is not acceptable to be in Congress. And I argue debates, issues on the floor of the House of Representatives in Florida all the time, but I do it with respect and decorum. I can present my conservative values without necessarily going off and being vicious and just vulgar. And so this man has disqualified himself. I'm a fiscal conservative. I'm a small businessman, and as a small businessman, I know the impact that the concept of just expanding government, government jobs, government bailouts, government stimulus packages that are out there that are only providing government jobs, and taking all these jobs away from the free market. And frankly, we had better wake up.
Well, see, that's what I'm wondering. The economists are now starting to say that we're reaching that point where we may get beyond the point of no return. The federal government has borrowed so much money, buried us in so much debt, that our foreign creditors are going to start to cut us off. The rating services will change their attitude. The money that we'll have to pay every year just to pay the interest on what we owe to everyone else, including Americans who buy securities, is going to be so big it'll bury the country virtually forever. That we're really on the verge of bankruptcy. If you got elected to Congress, how would you go about fixing that?
Well, you start with a philosophy that says, hey, wait a second, we're spending enough. We start cutting spending. You can't just say, wait a second, by the way, I do believe in a balanced budget. In Florida, we have a balanced budget. I don't know that the citizens years ago decided that we're going to put it in the Constitution. And so we have to wrestle with tough decisions. We have less money coming in, so therefore there are less programs. There are less, sometimes you have to do less with less. And Washington has said, well, wait a second, we don't want to cut anything. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep right on acting like nothing has happened. Frankly, they're wrong. The economy has shifted poorly, and Washington ought to feel it. Now, what does that mean? That means that they need to be going in and looking at every single program, every single department. They ought to be sunsetting them all, making them come back on the Hill and proving their value. That's one of the things I will do. I will come in here along with every single person, and I hope we get a group of conservatives that will come in and feel that way and say, hey, we're going to make them come in and prove why this program should exist.
And if you can't justify it, we're not going to spend the money because when we're $1.4 to $1.8 trillion in deficit for a single year, that's an insane amount of money.
Outrageous. And here's what our founding fathers said: and to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, not to pass on the debt to the next generation, which could absolutely cause the next generation to be enslaved.
So, how can people around the country help you out?
Go KurtKelly.com. If you want to find out more about Kurt Kelly, go to GoKurtKelly.com. By the way, Alan Grayson is out there acting crazy and doing
What's he doing?
Well, he's just all the stuff he's saying, and he's appealing to the liberals out there, and he raised a whole bunch of money in the last quarter by just going on the internet. I think the conservatives feel the exact same way, that we can come out here and put one of our own in and take this country back. Go to GoKurtKelly.com. That would help me out.
Mr. Kelly, it's a pleasure.
Lars,
Thanks for taking the time.
buddy.
I appreciate it.
You bet.